This AI guru is making $5 million USD per month on a consecutive basis, and that by selling an AI info product without posting on YouTube or being an influencer. Today we're going to expose the full funnel behind his brand, how he acquires his customers, and literally the whole A to Z conversion web that is behind him and his sales reps on how he prints that amount of money. So at the end of the day, you can not only convert more with your info product, but you also save yourself that time by researching, and you can actively go out there and scale your info product with his funnel. So without further ado, let's dive straight into how he's selling the shovels in the gold rush.
Break down this guy's funnel. He's making 5 million USD reportedly by his closers, and this is literally a paid ads masterclass because he has minimal organic content. He's literally not posting on YouTube, he's not posting on Instagram, dancing around doing weird dances. He's literally a paid ads masterclass. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at this whole funnel right here and analyze it from start to finish. So let's dig in. Now, in terms of the offer, and this is something that I've literally jumped on a sales call for in order to actually get this information. It's an AI biz of offer. They have a money back guarantee, and behind that guarantee, of course, there's requirements to come true for that guarantee to happen. And they have financing and payment plans. They typically split their offer up into 3 pillars. One is the 5.8K. That is the basic tier. That includes a personalized onboarding call, a CSM, includes a quick community and essentially a course, a mini course essentially in terms of resources. You also get a bit of access to AI employees, so on and so forth. The second tier is the AI accelerator. That's where it's a lot more personalized. So you have access to one-on-ones, you have access to weekly coaching sessions, and most importantly, you have it done for your lead gen setup. That is what the whole price anchoring is about. It's about that lead generation, which is done for you because you get those high quality leads in, and people naturally, they tend towards this because lead generation is the hardest part. And the third tier is mostly just used for anchoring, which is it's everything done for you. Literally with LinkedIn, the CRM, the full automated lead gen systems, and a 24/7 private Slack channel. You also get placement of a closer and AI SDR. So that is including recruiting, hiring, training of those, then lead generation, marketing. You literally just have to sit there and collect money. And obviously it's not that simple, but that is how it's going to get marketed. So they have those 3 offers, and the high ticket offer is up to 83,000. That is where you fly out to Jordan, to Dubai, and he's going to set that whole thing up with you. This whole offer is making them, because it's such a no-brainer, it's such a risk reversal with the money back guarantee and the payment plans and the financing options. Because of that, it's such a no-brainer. In terms of the marketing structure, they run 2 main channels. One is paid ads, which is 90% of their current income, and then the organic, which is 5 to 10%. Let's first of all focus on the organic because that is the easiest one to crack. Jordan has 2 channels. He has one YouTube and he's got one Instagram. He also has a company YouTube, but we will dive into that in a second. With the Instagram, it's very, very simple. Basically, everything that he's posting is regarding the AI GP, which is you DMing that to him, you're going to get qualified, so on and so forth. And he's not even posting the classic sit down reels, having some thumbnails over your head. It's literally lifestyle content, reels that are relatable, and most importantly, posts as well with text, with simple text. Those might be carousels, those might be slideshows, whatever it is. So here, for example, walking through the history behind what is AI, how does it look like? Again, ending with the AI GP. With those reels, literally everything that he links towards is the AI GP in his bio and in terms of reading that. And people will DM him that, people will comment him that. Same thing here, lifestyle content, really, really simple, AI GP. He's typically posting 3 types of content structures. One is a carousel with text. One is a carousel, which is more lifestyle. And then there is always a reel, which is only lifestyle as well. Occasionally, he does story sequences as well that either link to the AI GP, the call to action, or to a resource, to a quick lead magnet, as seen here. Sometimes it's running story sequences like follows. So really just diving into the AI GP model as well, DMing him that. And all the traffic that he gets from his Instagram, he funnels into his DMs. Those DMs, they're going to get qualified by this. So you send them the AI GP model, they qualify you on that. Hey, thanks for reaching out. I'll get back to you in a minute, just so I have context. Are you looking to start an AI agency? Do you have the capital necessary? If yes, they're going to lead you to the booking form. The problem here though, that I've had when it comes to encountering Jordan Lee here, is after an hour, there was no response. So either those setters are manual, which gives you an unfair advantage towards your competition, or the AI setter is just not prompted correctly and he's just not responding properly. However, once that conversation ends, and I've had this proven by other reps who are working there, once this conversation ends, you will get sent to their website. The website is basically the main funnel and the main touch point that you get to, which is the end. Regarding organic, Jordan Lee has a YouTube channel. As you can see, nothing specifically serious, 30,000 subscribers with 166 videos. Most of them are reels that are literally just clipped together. Now those videos, as you can see, literally nothing else than lifestyle and sometimes the old full guide section. So there's not too much organic. There's nothing valuable in that YouTube section apart from a couple bits and pieces here and there and essentially a couple of case studies. But literally lifestyle content like this video will find you before you first 1 million. You made millions and fell in love with a supermodel, so on and so forth. So all that lifestyle content is sitting there and attracting top of funnel views that then get funneled through a conversion web into his website, into his landing page. There's a 3-to-1 ratio with lifestyle and business. Business stuff like guides, building a 20K a month AI business for a stranger, so on and so forth, stuff that nurtures the audience. But then most importantly, lifestyle. Lifestyle in terms of vlogs, in terms of POVs, in terms of just documenting the journey in a sense. And you can also see how he attracts those customers and how he pulls them towards. You can also see the conversion web here in a sense and how he transforms those views into actually paying customers. Because on the lifestyle content, he has 3 main call to actions. He's got AI acquisition, which is another YouTube channel where he links it to. That's for taking the viewer who is just intrigued into actually believing into the business model and making sure that they believe into the money-making scheme of running an AI agency, and also the newsletter. Those are the main call to actions here. As you can see, go AI acquisition, and also the newsletter here where you literally sign up to get nurtured, and whether that is through a lead magnet, whether that is through getting some form of resource, that email list is always dominant when it comes to running any form of organic with Jordan Lee. Same thing here on the business side, just a slightly different description. You've got, again, go AI acquisition, the YouTube channel, which is going to nurture them. And then also, again, the email list. However, you sometimes get a free resource as well. And that resource looks like this. And at the end of the day, you can book your call with an AI strategy consultant and you get led straight into Calendly and the website. What is on here is mostly case studies, right? He makes X amount, single mom, stuff that you can send to your prospects. That's what this is designed for. As you can see, the views are not massive, right? 300 views, 2.7K, 7K here as well. So nothing dramatic. And this is actually just there to nurture people, get them to buy into the model. With the AI newsletter, what's going to happen is you're going to get nurtured, and then there's going to be call to actions in terms of book your free strategy call, so on and so forth. When you click onto this link right here on the Notion page, on the resource that they send you, you get sent to a Calendly link, which is titled G. Internally, they've got 50 closers, I think 50 closers or more. And with that, they basically have specific rankings in terms of what closer performs best and what type of quality lead that he gets. So for example, A would be top priority, G would be less of a priority, and the people who are new and the people who are less experienced, who just don't perform as well, they will get those lower quality leads. That's what I can imagine myself in. This whole spiel of content then gets transformed into one thing, which is here, the website. So this is the main funnel. Now, that is on the organic side. Again, that's only 5 to 10%, so that is nothing massive. The whole magic happens in paid ads. And paid ads, for the people who've run it before, we've run it for a couple of our customers as well. Paid ads is not that difficult to set up. Once you have your winner, you basically know what to do. You can just pump a lot of money into it. However, in order to get to that winner, you have to do volume. Volume is something that Jordan Lee and his team understand to the T. He's running 450 ads just for this specific AI business, excluding webinar ads, right? He's not even running a webinar right now, which is another 50 to 100. So he's making sure that his traffic is coming from those ads. He's testing constantly. He's literally putting so much money into ads that his margins are completely off. However, he's still making a lot of volume, which basically makes up for the low margins. So he's running so many ads, putting so much money into those ads. Again, here 450 ads that he's running at the moment. And with them, he's eating into his margins. But why does this not matter? Because he's got the volume to make up for it. I mean, would you rather make 100% or 90% of 200K a month? Or would you rather make, let's say, 50% or 40% of 6 million a month? Completely different ball game, and Jordan Lee understands that to the T. So with those ads, how that looks like is he splits it into 5 categories from what I have seen. You can copy and paste those ads and essentially get yourself access to them very, very easily through the Facebook ads library. Now, he's got videos of him talking, which is really there to just nurture people, get people essentially interested into it. He's got UGC content creators as well, which is quite interesting. Those are most of the times his clients, if they're not even AI generated. And you also have, speaking of AI generated, he's got AI created videos, which is from people on stage all the way through to AI transformation is there. So he's leveraging AI video content tools like Nano Banana, Video 3 in order to actually get people inquired about him and making sure that he nurtures them as well. And he always has a very, very strong hook. And you can see through the way that he trial and test those ads, he always finds new winners. And then when he finds a winner, he will double down on that. So there's ads that have been running only for the past couple of days, like here since the 15th, and that's 5 days from now, all the way through to a month, all the way through to the oldest ad that I've seen was like 3-4 months old. So really, really long lasting and very, very impactful ads, evergreen ads, if you might say so, that you can run for a prolonged period of time. Another aspect is the image scroll, which is basically an AI voice scrolling through a document, nothing crazy. Now, the problem here with running paid ads and funding them into your calendar is you will get unnaturally a lot of no-shows. However, the marketing and the manager basically behind Jordan Lee, which I know he's a G, he has set up a no-show advertising, which is when you no-show somebody, when you don't show up to the call, and they face no-show numbers of around 50 to 60%, so 60% of the people don't show up on their calls, which is quite significant. When you no-show on their calls, you will get advertising for you of, hey, you missed a call, you're running out of time to enroll for the new year bonus, so on and so forth. So he will redirect you and he will take you as a lost lead, technically, leads that most people, that most info product owners would just disregard in a sense, and he will take that lead and put it back into the funnel, which in my opinion is genius level. So he's going to put you back through a VSL. Yes, I want to reschedule. No more qualification. You go straight into the booking page. So meaning that you essentially book yourself that call and you don't have to go through that friction of watching a VSL again, so on and so forth. All those other ads, they link to another VSL, which is Jordan talking, Jordan providing a couple of case studies, classic VSL, really selling into the dream of running an AI business. Fill out your application, pretty standard process, and then it takes you to the website. So with this is basically a pre-landed VSL. This is more professional. From ads, it goes straight into the VSL. So on YouTube, it goes to the website, to the pre-booking page. On the VSL, it goes straight into the qualifying criteria. And here he's using Typeform by the looks of it. Now, he's starting off the funnel with a very, very simple question. Which of these following describe you the best? What is your monthly income? Really just financially qualifying that person. The reason why he has this qualifying material here and this qualifying question is because of the reason that they have multiple offers and that they can essentially help them in a better way. Plus also, if you say I'm currently unemployed and you don't have any savings, you're going to get automatically disqualified. So this is all qualification on finances, basically. What's your monthly income? Same here. If you click on below 1,000, so on and so forth, you're not going to get put through. Then this question, which is quite interesting one, is very rarely seen in the info space. Imagine it's 6 months from today and you have now accomplished your goal of building a successful online business. To make this your reality, how much are you willing to invest into, number one, starting a successful online business, and number two, receiving world-class coaching and mentorship, which is quite cool that he pre-frames it here. And from there, you can do two things. You're either going to get disqualified, and disqualification looks like this. To be respectful of your time, I recommend you watch the video below to make sure AI arbitrage is the right opportunity for you before you're booking the call. This is basically where he price drops, right? This is where he gives a walkthrough through the estimates of the price. This is where he gives a mini pitch and making sure that you can actually afford it. Once you say, yes, I can afford it, you can basically book yourself another call here. Again, through the ranking systems that the closers have, those closers that don't perform, they're most likely going to get those leads, and then it's harder to close them and they have to step up their game, versus the closers that can perform, they're going to get rewarded. However, if you do qualify, it's straight to another booking page, which is book your AI strategy call below, and you can book that call as well. Now, with that, it's basically once you enter that, you basically put in your name, your last name, email, classic, the phone number, so on and so forth. And then you go through the same questions as well. I work a 9-to-5 job, I'm unemployed, and this is where you can double check. Most of the times people literally lie on their forms. So what you can do here is you can double check, you can qualify them and make sure that they actually are truthful about what they're saying. So you don't speak to Rashid from India. Then you have, again, imagine 6 months from now, blah, blah, blah. How much can you actually invest into this? And then another question, which just gives you a bit more buy-in, right? We receive thousands of applications per week, except under 3% of them. What makes you good fit for this opportunity? Here, it is very, very qualifying, right? In terms of what you actually can afford. And then it's making you buy into it. So you're going to show up, right? You're going to take it seriously. And that is through question number 1 and question number 2. Having success in business requires discipline and being a person of your word. Do you give us your word that you will show up to the call that you're booking on time? Yes, I am a man or woman of my word, yada, yada. Sorry, can't promise I'll show. Disqualified, do not book. So this is really reverse psychology in a sense. You're labeling that person as someone who wants to become successful in business, so he will have to do the actions, show up on time. That just diminishes the likelihood of them not showing up and essentially increases show rate. Now, once you've booked in that call, you get a confirmation page. Follow those steps to confirm your call event, adding it to your calendar. Very, very simple. Afterwards, thank you, what we need to make sure so you don't miss your call, so on and so forth. You also get a couple of case studies and a Q&A, which is great. At this point, I hope it has been valuable so far. You've probably watched now 15 to 20 minutes of this video. If this has been valuable, please let me know via a like and a subscribe button. With a like, you let me know directly that this is something that has actually benefited you. I've put a lot of effort into this. And with the subscribe button, you never miss another video, which means that you can actually grow and expand your business, whether that is an info, whether you're a growth operator that wants to expand for his customers, or you're literally just there to soak up knowledge. You're going to get the best knowledge here on this channel, which is how you're actually going to scale an info business to 100,000 per month, all the way through to 1.5 million per month. I'm literally here to provide value. So please let me know via like, and you can subscribe as well. It's free, but it's literally just going to provide you and your algorithm with the most amount of value that you can receive. Now, once you book in terms of the pre-call and the post-call process, it is quite interesting. In terms of pre-call, you have 3 avenues here. Now, the first avenue is really, really dependent on the closer. It's you getting a text message from the closer, getting a bit of a rundown in terms of the reviews of testimonies, case studies, so on and so forth. And that, again, is very, very dependent. You typically get sent a couple of videos that are mostly bizarre and essentially how-to guides. So this guy here gets sent 2 testimonies and essentially 2 guides. The third one here is pretty standard calendar reminder. And those calendar reminders are pretty simple, right? What we do, sort of case studies, so on and so forth, just nurture them, just giving them a bit of a heads up in terms of the pre-call. Very, very standard. You get 3 in total. One is 72 hours before, one is 24, and one is 2 hours before. So very standard. The third one, though, is the most interesting one, because this is targeted ads. And this is where you literally just hammer your prospects, the people that you jump on call with. And again, this is such a genius idea when it comes to marketing, when it comes to advertising, because you literally pre-handed the objections on those advertisements with the people that you've booked in. So objections in terms of, what if it's too expensive? How much time do I need? Is this something for me? Can I actually make it happen? Is it already too saturated? So on and so forth. And it's going to hammer you until you die with those ads. Same with case studies. How X made Y. How many students they've already passed through. How much money those students. You have case studies. You've got the offer education. So what is actually AI acquisition? How does that look like? The business model education. What's going on with that? That typically is very rare, I've noticed. So from the ads library that I've skimmed through, getting educated on the offer is very, very rare. And then you also have the long form. The long form is basically just them sitting down, talking, giving value, and making sure that you buy into the brand even more and you want to work with Jordan. Because this whole funnel is built around you wanting to work with Jordan, because he already has the experience, he already has the expertise, and you want to capitalize on the opportunity. Then you have your sales call, and then the post call is again very dependent on closer. This guy here got a quick little email, great connecting with you, a quick recap, pause it, and you can take a look and you can copy it for yourself. This whole funnel is literally a go-to funnel when it comes to advertising, paid ads. How does that whole spiel work out? It's literally a whole rundown, a whole masterclass on how much you can do with advertising when you have the right capital and the right strategy for it, and the right man behind the camera who's actually analyzing everything and putting everything together. With this funnel, I would say the burden is heavily on the sales team, just coming from a place where over the past 12 months, I've collected 1.9 million myself as a closer. It is very, very sales focused. So the whole conversion happens on the sales call. I'd say 20% of the conversion happens in the marketing side. 80% here happens on the sales call. So the closers are really going to have to go into the grid, and they're going to really have to essentially put their best foot forward, because at the end of the day, you've got little qualification. People can rely on that qualification, go straight into closing. There's no triage or setting process involved, and it's through paid ads. So those are typically the 4 signs or the 3 signs where you're going to struggle as a closer. For the offer owner, it's very good because they make a lot more money than, for example, qualifying the leads, putting an extra triage for 5-6% into place. However, that is the reason why they have so many. You can go through a lot of churn, and you can most importantly also go through a lot of skill set, a lot of expertise. So when it comes to starting out in the info space, getting your info product out there, I wouldn't recommend this funnel. This is only something that you can do once you have the capital, once you have that 20, 30, 40, 50,000 per month coming in on a consistent basis. That's where you can take a look at paid ads. Around 10% is coming from his organic funnel. 90% is coming from paid ads. He doesn't have any issues with leads. He has issues with converting. With every funnel, there's something wrong and there's something good. The good side here is you can get a lot of volume in. The good side is you can get through a lot of volume, and you can essentially get through a lot of closers. Skill set wise, so on and so forth, you can build them up. It's very, very easy to get customers in that sense when the closer is good. On the bad side though, you have team management, you have a lot of churn, you have a lot of essentially quitting just because closers can't take it. And most importantly as well, you have little margin. So when you're making 5-6 million per month, let's just say the profit margins are 60 or even 40%, right? You basically give away almost half of that. So just beware when you run ads. If you want to work with me and my team in terms of helping you scale and build out your info product, whether that is your one-to-one or one-to-many, essentially transferring, taking a look at your audience, funneling them into essentially a paid community, and you actually scaling and building your business rather than just being stuck in sales and management, you can hit me up. Down there is my Instagram. Again, I hope I could provide some value. If there's anything that I've missed, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing you on the next one. I'll link a YouTube video somewhere here. That video is the most recommended one from the YouTube algorithm for you on my channel. Feel free to watch that. Otherwise, go crush it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.